everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the period of August 9 to the 15th. Okay, let's get started and see what messages we have for Scorpio for their upcoming week. And if this reading resonates for you, please leave me a comment letting me know, and don't forget to hit that like button. Okay, let's get started. I keep seeing the Eight of Swords for you, Scorpio. Are you overthinking something maybe? Let's jump in and see what's going on for our Scorpio friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, August 9 to the 15th. Yes, Scorpio. There's the card that represents you, top of mind. We see the Death card, which represents Scorpio, and we've got the Page of Swords, or Page of Wands, excuse me, on the bottom of the deck. Okay, Scorpio. So top of mind for you is your rebirth and yourself. You are really focusing on you right now, Scorpio. You are looking at dynamics that need healing. Okay, look at what we have here. We have two fours here. We've got the Four of Cups and the Four of Swords. Okay, one crossing the other. So I see that you need to take some time to heal from something that is making you feel emotionally sort of dissatisfied. Okay, so there's the obstacle to this feeling. So in order to release yourself from feeling dissatisfied and to notice the present moment here, the emotionally present, not the past, the present moment. Okay, in order to do that, there's some mental clearing that needs to happen. There's some thought patterns that need to change. This Four of Swords is saying to you, Scorpio, that in order to sort of get moving with this rebirth that's top of mind for you, there's some healing that needs to happen. There's some time spent alone to reflect on past hurts. Okay, and the reason I say hurts is because there's that Three of Swords. Okay, a very well shuffled deck revealing these cards. So that really makes me think that right now, Scorpio, you've got to look back at some things, some conflicts that were necessary, some separation that was necessary, something that hurt your heart, but it was necessary to sort of move you on this pathway of rebirth. And I know people never like hearing that, oh, I had to be hurt in order to learn something. Well, you know, guys, it's interesting. Sometimes the choices we make from a position of, feeling a certain way about ourselves. And as we make our choices that way, if we're making a choice to move forward with something that isn't necessarily in our best interest, then conflict is going to be necessary. Separation will be necessary because it was never in your best interest in the first place, right? But we have free will, so we can choose whatever we want. But as we make choices, there's cause and effect, right? So if you make a choice to be in a relationship, let's say, this is feeling sort of relationship-y, maybe a friendship, maybe a lover, to be with someone, to be a friend, to be close to an individual, it's not going to be what gets you towards your path. It might be a detour. And so in order to get you back on track, separation is sometimes necessary. Okay, my right ear is ringing right now as I say that. So it looks like in the past, Scorpio, you did make a choice. There was a choice made in the past to sort of go for something. And I think whatever that was, here's the Two of Swords led to the Three of Swords. So there was a choice that was made in the past to go along a path, take a decision, live a lifetime, if you will, have an experience, but it ended up it taught you what it taught you, and then you ended up having to separate from this dynamic, and you had a bit of a heartbreak. Your heart broke. This card, the imagery is beautiful. It's perfectly fitting to the meaning of the card. So this decision that was made in the past, that was made with uncertainty. Notice this is in reverse. So when you made this decision in the past, I'm feeling like you did make the decision because this card is past energy. So I think you made a decision in the past that you weren't sure about. There was something probably in your intuition telling you, hey, be aware that this could get tricky. But getting tricky doesn't mean it wasn't meant for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you may have needed this experience to learn something very valuable, which is what this reading is sort of suggesting, is that now you're at the end of a chapter. There's that 10 of Wands saying it's time to start again, and you can feel it with this Death card, and the Death card represents you, Scorpio. You're all about rebirth and sort of the renewal aspect of life and the evolution aspect of life. And here it is. This represents you, and this is in the position of what's top of mind for you right now. So I can see that you're closing out a chapter. You may have already closed it out, and you're not sure where this is heading next, but you're going for it. You're going for it, but you're not sure where it's headed next. And the reason I say you're going for it is because I do see this Page of Pentacles in your upcoming energy. They're both in reverse. So what that says to me is that it's a challenge for you to put down these sticks that you've been carrying, even though they're exhausting you. This is all you know, Scorpio. This is what you're comfortable with, and this is what you know. You're used to starting cycles and seeing them all the way to the end, even if you feel overburdened, underappreciated, overwhelmed, and tired. You do that all the time. This is your pattern, and you're used to it, but you're starting to see that it's not serving you, because this adventure that you're on currently, which is you're leading to this rebirth, is very unfamiliar. Okay, so right now in the upcoming energy, I see that you're going to be getting sort of a leg up from the universe with respect to physical energy, but you need to channel it properly. So the guidance here is, once this energy comes in, it's not for you to go head first into a new project and obliterate all that beautiful energy the universe has given you, right? I really feel like you're going to need to take that energy and use it for yourself. Use it for nurturing yourself. Use it for making yourself feel enriched and nourished, and of utmost importance, to be gentle with yourself in this upcoming cycle, Scorpio. I think you are on the path of creating something new. And, I see that with this Page of Rods on the bottom of the deck. And then look who follows him, but the 8 of Swords, which I kept seeing as I was shuffling, which says that you could be overthinking things instead of healing from them. Okay, so when we see that 4 of Swords, that really says take a rest and think and heal, reflect. Reflect mentally on situations that were painful. Here we are, and heal from them. Heal from them. Now, what I'm seeing in this 8 of Swords is really saying that you could be overthinking some of these outcomes as you try to wrap up this chapter that you're on. So you're trying to wrap up a cycle and start a new one, and you may be overthinking it a little bit instead of going with your intuitive guidance, that inner guidance system that will never fail you. We just need to be able to hear it. That's the thing. And sometimes our minds are so busy overthinking that we can't hear spirit, right? The ego is the mind. It's full of thought and decision, and it's this battle between the ego and the true self. Whenever I see this, it's like, what's the real truth? Who's speaking the truth? The inner guidance or my mind? And how can I tell them apart? And it's almost like this Page of Rods on the bottom of the deck is guiding your reading by saying, go with intuition, go with spirit. Put your mind at rest, literally. Put your mind at rest. Okay, this needs healing. This overthinking is stopping you from maybe seeing the emotional offers coming into the present. It's interesting, Scorpio, because, you're a water sign, and you are represented by cups, the Suit of Cups here, right? Not this card in particular, but you're an emotional being, Scorpio. You are an emotional being, and you're overthinking things instead of healing from things potentially right now. And top of mind for you is this new chapter you're starting, which I think is going to bring in a lot of change for you. But other people see it too. Other people see that you have a hard time detaching from hurt feelings. Okay, so whatever happened in this moment where you made a choice and it led to a separation and conflict that hurt your feelings, and now it's sort of time to gain the wisdom from that experience so that going forward, things are in a new place for you. It's almost like you're having a hard time detaching emotionally from that scenario, and other people in your life see it. So it's sort of like this card does talk about you. So we've got two cards here that represent Scorpio, the Five of Cups and the Death card. So I think from this emotional loss that you experienced here, you're going to rebirth, you're going to transform. But it's a question of, will you take the time to reflect on it? Will you take the time to reflect on it so that you can move past it, so that you can move into this new chapter without hanging on to this? Because what hanging on to this is doing is, look at that. There's the Miser card, the Four of Pentacles. My friend, my Scorpio friend, just so that you are not missing this, you've got 3 fours here, okay? You've got the Four of Cups, Swords, and Pentacles. It's all about fours for you, and fours are all about this sort of need to withdraw and heal and reflect and understand, right? And this card is really a time to look at your physical surroundings and say, I have enough. I'm enough. I have enough. And the world is enough. And there's plenty for everybody. And not to sort of hang on to things in a way that makes you feel like none of this is replaceable. That once something is gone, it's gone. And that seems to be your hope and fear, is like a part of you is hoping that once something is gone, it's gone, because you're ready for something new. But then there's another part of you that's like, well, but that really, it hurts when things leave my life. And I feel like I'm at a loss here. Am I the one that's at a loss, or is the other person at a loss? And it's an interesting reading for you, Scorpio, because it's really saying to me that you're at a place where you're about to understand a very important truth. You are on the cusp of understanding a major truth, and it's starting to reveal itself to you in emotion, okay? The truth is that you need to feel okay letting go of things that no longer serve you, even if you had an emotional attachment to them, or if you had attached a lot of meaning to them emotionally, saying that, if this ever happens, I'm going to be so sad. Right? And here we are. And so, but this is something that happened a while ago, Scorpio. This is not something that just happened. This is definitely something that happened already. This didn't just happen. And the outcome for you, my dear Scorpio, is this idea that you are going to, here's another Cups card. It doesn't represent Scorpio, represents Pisces. But it's another signal here that, Scorpio, you are going to head into a new dimension of emotion here. Once you sort of process this concept that, when something leaves your life, even if it was because of a choice you made or a conflict or something that someone, did to you, whatever it was, it's going to lead you to a new chapter, okay? It is going to lead to a new chapter, and it's emotional. This process is going to hit you emotionally. It's interesting. It's like you need to process it mentally first, and then it's the emotion. So what that says to me is, what are you saying to yourself about this situation? What are you saying it means? What are you saying about yourself to yourself because of this? Does that make sense? You need to watch that language, and that is what this Four of Swords is. So I hope you're not sitting around beating yourself up. Forgive yourself, even if something happened that you feel you caused. You can't hang on to it forever. You have to let it go and focus on the new path here, these 2 cups that are empty and ready for filling. So, and that Knight of Cups, it's like there is a solid offer emerging in your life to say, here's an opportunity, here's an experience, here's a relationship, here is a brand new dimension of emotion for you to experience. You know what I mean, Scorpio? So you're stepping into something beautiful here. You're stepping into a brand new dimension of emotion. I would suggest a brand new dimension of love. So this could be because of a relationship, a friendship, a family member. Maybe you're having a baby. Maybe your family is growing. And so you're finding that your emotions are shifting. They're shifting. And you're starting to look at times of your life where you went through conflict and separation, and you're trying to understand these moments better. You're trying to understand them better, but it's almost like you can't overthink it, my dear Scorpio. Overthinking it is not going to assist you, and that's why we see this Four of Swords crossing the Four of Cups. So this needs to happen, but not to the point where you end up feeling totally dissatisfied and depressed, right? That's not the objective. The objective is to feel free and ready to start a new chapter, ready to harness this Page of Wands, right? Which brings in this restless, fantasizing, and inspirative time where you're discovering new qualities about yourself, your gifts, your talents and skills and abilities and your spirit, right? Like you're really tapping into that now. And that's where you're going to head off into this new chapter. It's going to be a very new beginning. It's just, please don't overburden yourself, right? Like that message is clear with this Page of Pentacles in reverse, is like, make sure you take the opportunity to be gentle with yourself throughout this change. You need to take it easy is what I am getting. So take it easy. Don't overthink things, but make sure that you're healing, right? Take the time you need to heal from whatever it was that you just closed out with this 10 of Wands. You are finishing a chapter and starting a new one, Scorpio. Okay, let's get your words of encouragement from the Oracle deck to close this reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Make sure you watch your other placements too. Okay, we got 2 cards flying out right away. We got Taking Risks and Wisdom. Interesting. So what that really says to me, this is beautiful. Notice the 2 images. One is flying in the water and one is flying in the sky. Taking risks really says to me that you are going to go forward on a new path. And, it might feel like a risk. It might feel like a risk because it's unfamiliar. This is going to be a new inspired path. I love how this card is very golden, very fiery, which makes me think of the Page of Rods that came for you, and the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one with the 10 of Wands. You are taking a new path, and it's going to involve some risky moments. Risky, I think, emotionally. I think you're going to take some emotional risks, Scorpio, but they're going to be worth it. And then we see Wisdom, which is an underwater card. You are a water sign. The wisdom is going deep here. You need to go deep and understand some wisdom here. This is all about the healing that needs to happen, okay, Scorpio? So this healing needs to take place, and it's going to offer you a lot of wisdom. And whenever I see this card, I think don't look at things on the surface. Go deeper. Go far deeper than what it appears on the surface. Find all of that hidden information, all of that hidden wisdom, but don't overthink it, right? Don't overanalyze it, but get the wisdom, if that makes sense. Use something other than judgment. Use something other than this mental need to rip things apart. Don't use those senses. That's not going to help you understand things. It's almost like you need to just look at it without judgment. You need to look at the situation and observe it without evaluation. Just look at it and see if you can. An exercise I like to do is to see, can I apply compassion to the other people in this story, or am I only applying compassion to myself? What is the compassion that can be extended to the other people, even the ones that hurt me? How can I understand wisdom I can understand wisdom if I try and understand all these swords. You know what I mean? Like without judgment. Without judgment, sometimes it's helpful to look at it like it's a movie that you're watching and you're not attached to any of the characters. They're just actors in a movie, and you're watching, trying to understand the wisdom of some of the moves and the what these characters are doing in the film. And sometimes that can help it be a situation that you can say, well, yes, they hurt the main character, but the main character didn't realize that the person that hurt them, and then we know their backstory and understand where that hurt comes from. And it's not to say that that's an excuse. It's just, it gives you wisdom. It gives you wisdom so that you can see things from a multitude of perspectives instead of just one. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much. If this reading has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email is in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we will see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light, my friends.